And you know what I like to say? I like to say TGIM. You know why? A couple of reasons why I say it's TGIM. One of them is I'm back on the podcast. And it's always nice. By the way, new Logitech G922 camera. A little higher definition, maybe more than you want tonight. But anyway, we're plugging in a new camera tonight. And we're glad to have you checking it out. But again, glad it's Monday. TGIM, because I'm doing the show. And because my wife's honey-do list is left over the weekend. Hello, Paul and Sean and Gregory and Greg and Aaron Michael. What's up, stud? Saw you at the Royals game. Hails to the yes. Paul Chapa's in Myrtle Beach. Oh, come on, man. Chapa. Anyway, welcome, guys. Glad to have you here. We're on tonight. We're on 3 Facebook pages. We are on Deplorables Radio. We are on the Rob Carson Show and Rob Carson at Facebook. So there we go. Welcome to it. We have some political things we're going to get to and some non-political things as well. Before I go any further, I want to mention a couple of sponsors for the radio show. I know many of you are not in the Kansas City area, but for those of you who are, will you consider if you need an adjustment to your back, if you have some neck problems, herniated discs, you need massage therapy, chiropractic treatment, Dr. Dave, Alex Nelson, I apologize. I was thinking my friend David Nelson. He was just on there. And he would, Alex Nelson is a part of the show. Fountainoflifechiro.com is the name of the clinic, fountainoflifechiro.com. They're on North Congress Avenue, Kansas City. The number is 816-741-4711, 816-741-4711, fountainoflifechiro.com. If you are not a believer in chiropractor, if you're not a believer in chiropractic treatment, then you've never been. That's just the way it is. Hello, LaDonna. Used to know you in Columbia at the CVB. What's going on, girl? Other sponsor is Grass Monsters KC. You ever want one of these in your garage? I got one of those in my garage. It's a Dixie Chopper, baby. It's a Dixie Chopper Silver Eagle commercial mower. Badass. You don't want something commercial? You can go the Dixie Chopper, the Z2. Available at Grass Monsters. They got a host of beautiful mowers. They're American-made. They are Dixie Chopper made in Indiana. And then the other mower that I love so much is Hustlers. Hustlers. These are made in Kansas. Look at that fast track. 4-year, 400-hour, blade-to-blade warranty. Again, zero turning made. The Raptor Limited. Oh, God bless it. These are made in Kansas. There's just a Raptor. Spectacular. Now, these are all made in America. These are all zero turning radius. They steer with your pinkies. And don't buy the mowers that are chained up out in front of the big box store. At your big box store, because they're terrible. They're nothing compared to these, all right? Just remember 5520 Raytown Road, 5520 Raytown Road, KC Mow, or I should say Raytown Mow, and Grass Monsters KC. If you call and you get in touch with them, tell Andrew I said hi. He'll take care of you. Rick Evans, Bob Hamilton, Bob, what's up, my brother? Allison Steele, hi. Ryan, my buddy Ryan, Rob McPherson, good to see you as well. God bless you, my friend. I hear you're doing well. Good to have you on. Good to have you on. Again, we are on Deplorables Radio as well, Rob Carson Show, and just Rob Carson's Facebook page as well. So what am I going to talk about to begin with? Well, I'm a little disappointed, to be quite honest, in Michael Phelps. Did you hear about Michael Phelps today? Michael Phelps, last night, to kick off Shark Week on the Discovery Channel. Big deal, right? My wife used to work in downtown Silver Spring. They always put up the big shark on the building at the Discovery Channel in Silver Spring, Maryland. After much fanfare, Michael Phelps did not race a shark. Michael Phelps raced a virtual shark. Here are some audio from the virtual shark race that I wanted to be a real shark race, and it didn't happen last night.
Michael's time to beat is 36.1 seconds.
Swimmers, take your mark.
Michael's dive clocks in at 8.8 miles per hour. At the 25-meter mark, the great white accelerates and takes the lead for the first time. Halfway through the race, Phelps and the shark are neck and neck. But then, with 2 beats of his tail, the white shark rockets over the finish line. winning the race by 2 seconds.
It's a fun race, but I'll give him that one. I don't like taking silver medalists, but I'll take one to a great white.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we can have a better race.
Well, was it because we kind of wanted to see Michael Phelps in a lane here and the shark in the other lane, and maybe the shark jumping over and chasing? Is that why we like this? Is this come on, we could, nothing against Michael Phelps, but there was a time when we sat around and watched lions eating people. So I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to see him swim a live shark, and it was a little misleading. Discovery Channel, a little misleading, because what they did basically was they took Michael Phelps to the mini coast, and then there was this other location. They put a monofin to simulate the shark's movements, and then at a separate location they recorded shark swimming. And then they brought it together at the event. And he didn't actually swim. He swam against not a real shark. What am I trying to say here? It's an artificial shark. It's a virtual shark. I think the only way that the Discovery Channel is going to be able to make up for this is to throw Rosie O'Donnell in a pool full of piranhas. I'm just saying. Rosie O'Donnell, maybe Chuck Schumer, Amy Schumer, in a pool of piranhas, and just to see how long they can last. I think that's what the Discovery Channel owes us. Thank you very much. Hello, Brenna, watching on Deplorables Radio at Facebook. Rob Carson Show at Facebook. Hello. And, of course, Rob Carson on Facebook, where a lot of you. Hello, Sarah Zimmerman. Welcome to the show. Did you watch Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones. Last night it was the second episode. I don't. I can't. Apparently it was the second episode. It was a game changer. I don't know how it is a game changer. The show is just, it's all about incest and killing people and whatever, Didn't get a chance to watch that last night. Generally, when I watch TV, it's going to be HGTV. Am I right? Usually it's going to be HGTV. It's going to be Fixer Upper. It's going to be Flip or Flop. Tiny House Hunters. Tiny House Hunters. They should do a follow-up on that. Tiny House Hunters a year later, when the woman discovers she has a closet the size of a shoebox, and they're actually wanting to kill each other. That's what I think they need to do on HGTV. Tiny House Hunters 1 year later. Although I will tell you, they do have a show. It's called Tiny House Hunters Paradise, and you live in a really cool tiny house in with the Caribbean. That I could do. That I could do, because you only need one pair of shoes. Those are flip-flops, maybe some reef shoes, a couple of pairs of board shorts and some shirts. You're done. You're cool. Jim Cunningham has joined. Hello, James. Good to see you the other day at KMBZ Radio. Was he interviewing there? Kansas City listeners want to know. No, unfortunately, I wasn't. There are no jobs there. But anyway, I'm still looking. But it was great to see you, James, and I think you do a great job, always have, and it was cool to see KMBZ, a cluster that, wow, really, really impressive. Intercom Radio, Kansas City. Really, really, really cool. What's it like to have a budget? Wayne is joined. Hello, Wayne. What's going on? All right, let's move on to some other things here. Oh, this is kind of funny. I'll ask you this question. Yeah, and I'm being tongue-in-cheek here. I really would rather have humor on this than I legitimately want to go back in time and kill people. All right? But there is a healthcare billionaire, GOP donor, Mike Fernandez, said that if he had been a doctor at the time, he would have killed President Trump as a baby. That's nice. Isn't that nice? Trump is an abortion of a human being. If I was a doctor and knew that baby Trump would do what he would do, I'd have made sure it would have never happened. And he would have never seen the light of day. This is pretty disgusting first of all, for a Republican, okay, saying he'd kill a baby. He is an ever-Trumper. He protested during the election, put more than $3.5 million into anti-Trump ads, also donated $3 million to former candidate Jeb Bush's campaign. He's a billionaire. chairman of the MBF Healthcare Partners, says, I am out of the political process, too disgusted, too expensive, too supportive of egomaniacs whose words have the value of quicksand. He sounds kind of like that actually himself, doesn't he? I got to tell you, there are, who would you, real quick, I'll ask, who would you go back in history and kill, if you could? Who would you go back in history to kill? The obvious answer would be what? Jeff Goldblum? No. Hitler. Obviously, Hitler would be the person you'd go back and kill. That's what everybody says. Hitler, Mao, Stalin, those would be good people. And I agree to some degree with those people. I really do. Because of the loss of life, of course. I'm going to go ahead and say the man who created the popcorn ceiling. I'm going to say the person who came up with the popcorn ceiling. That's the person who I would kill because it is just awful stuff. You can't see this in my studio right now, but I've got that stupid popcorn ceiling. What the hell? You can't just have a flat ceiling. Why did they need to texture everything? It's a ceiling. And they sprayed, I guess, oatmeal and paint on the ceiling. And that's a popcorn ceiling. And then we as homeowners now have to deal with it. It's not fun. It's just not very fun. So I'm all about going back and killing the popcorn ceiling guy. And there were a couple years there. It would have been the guy who did Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I would be really, really much into killing the person who... Rob says, Rob Votel, how you doing, buddy? Lee Harvey Oswald, but the popcorn ceiling guy is good too. Yes. Popcorn ceiling guy, good too. Yes. Who would you kill if you could go back in time and do it? Go ahead and comment. That's perfectly fine. We'd love to hear from you. This is a funny story, and I saw this weekend. In the state of Minnesota, like so many states, they've decided to make transgender bathrooms, basically say that students who identify as transgender, which is identifying as the sex opposite you, or being non-binary, which says that you don't have a sex, which is mental illness. I'm sorry, it is. If you can't claim a sex, this is all, it's jumping the shark. It's jumping the shark tremendously. But in the state of Minnesota, there was a point where schools were told that if you needed to accommodate transgendered kids. And so the school said, hey, here's the deal. Let's give the transgendered students their own bathroom. And that wasn't good enough because the child had to go in the bathroom of their gender identity. All right? I'm going to tell you a very funny twist on that in just a second. It is spectacular. All right? I'm going to share that with you in a second. I'm selling a line of T-shirts and swag that are really cool. Here's the website you need to go to. I know this isn't very professional. teepublic.com, Conservatees. teepublic.com. Look for Conservatees. teepublic.com/user/Conservatees right there. All right. You're going to get really cool designs, including Jan Brady saying Russia, Russia, Russia. All right. This is the sticker. Okay. I have the sticker. We have T-shirts. You want it on mugs. You want it on laptops. You want it on phone cases. Here you go. Sometimes war is the answer. Do those say that war is not the answer? No, sometimes it is. You're wrong. My kid is not a snowflake. That's a good one. If you live in the Kansas City area, how about this? Kansas City. Because that's how they pronounce it here. They don't say Kansas City. They say Kansas City. Hello, Stacy. How you doing? Welcome. The coexist bumper sticker you see on Priuses. How about this? You can't coexist when some want to kill you. T-shirts, hats, onesies, tank tops. teepublic.com. Look for Conservatees. teepublic.com. Conservatees. Here's a Chiefs version of Kansas City. This is for my friends in Missouri. Are you just going to stand there? I'm from Missouri. Show me. Could mean a variety of things. Proud climate change denier. Hello, Howard. Welcome. And, of course, veganism is an eating disorder. We have a host of designs, and there's like 45 more. Politically incorrect, and there's some Maryland-centric one, Maryland Pride, Kansas City Pride, Kansas, Missouri Pride. They're all cool. Again, there it is, tpublic.com/conservaties. For those of you who just joined me, like Howard and Stacy, yeah, the coexist one, Stacy, yeah, it is. You can't coexist when some people want to kill you. I mean, you can say this is the give peace a chance movement. Okay, there you go. You can't coexist when some want to kill you. And there is you're being anti-Muslim. Well, 3,000 annual terrorist attacks can't be wrong. There is a faction of it. Get over it. It's not Catholics. All right. Anyway, order that at TeePublic, will you? And look for conservatives. Because I'm trying to pay the bills this way, and things are getting really, really tight for me and my family. I'll be honest. I'm doing a radio show here. I'm waiting for a gig on radio. I have some very positive friends in the broadcast industry, and I have some people who are actively working against me in the broadcast industry. I won't mention any names, but it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. By the way, I'm on WBAP in Dallas every day this week from 2 to 5 Central Standard Time. Having a lot of time. And again, we're shaking things up as far as content, not just political stuff, not just political. There's a lot of stuff we're doing. So BAP in Dallas. Next week, I'm on KFAB in Omaha, Nebraska, an afternoon drive. That's fun because it's my hometown. It is. So they set aside bathrooms for transgendered students who wanted to identify as the opposite sex in the state of Minnesota. That wasn't good enough. And so what they've done is they made sure that all these transgendered kids can go to any bathroom they want to. And listen to this. The kids who are uncomfortable with it, they're going to get their own bathroom. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's so absurd. You can't give a separate bathroom to a kid who identifies as somebody of the opposite gender. But after all of this, because it's discriminatory, if a kid feels uncomfortable because a boy in a dress comes into the girls' locker room, they can be given their own bathroom. Okay, the kids who would feel uncomfortable, they can go to their own bathroom. Do you understand what I'm saying here? This is just, oh, God in heaven. So stupid. I'm not going to do all gender because there's just some funny gender stuff here, but the gender unicorn is rating the gender unicorn. What was in Friends, Ross dressed up like the Hanukkah? Oh, it's going to kill. The Hanukkah armadillo. So this is the gender unicorn. Gender unicorn raising concerns and sparking anger across more states as teachers involved in sex ed adopt the gender unicorn, which was created by transgender activists to teach children as young as 5 about sex and gender identity. You know what I've always wanted to be? Whenever I've been asked the question, if you could be an animal for a day, what would it be? It would be an eagle, because eagles kick ass. Eagles are predators. They're top of their food chain. Eagles are endangered most of the time, so they can't be killed by humans in this country anyway. And eagles get all the free sushi they can eat. They just swoop down in a lake, and they take that fish up, and they eat fresh fish. It's a glorious thing to be an eagle. So I want to identify as an eagle. That's what I'm going to do. I want to identify as an eagle. Even though I am physiologically not an eagle, I want to identify as an eagle or a dolphin. A dolphin would be good. I'd like to be a dolphin. Creators called the gender unicorn an upgrade to the gingerbread person, which was a gingerbread man, by replacing the man with a sexually ambiguous mythical creature. In addition to a host of semantic issues, the gender unicorn's creators state that the male and female binary is a European construct. Now, I think it's kind of a God construct, actually. I think it's kind of a, how do I say this? And by the way, Greg joined on Rob Carson's show. Want some more people to join on the Deplorables Radio, and a lot of people on Rob Carson. I always just said it to my kids like this, and maybe you're doing it differently now. But I have always said that if you have a pee-pee, you're a boy, and if you have a nina, you're a girl. That's generally what it means. And there are some chromosomal things, too, that say you're male or female. Sperm goes to egg gets fertilized, fetus, baby, hatchling, whatever. And that's how it works. But apparently that is a European, what do they call it? It's a European construct. Wow. Did the Europeans have to, when they were taking over the world years ago and they were doing the colonialism and all that, they say, no, that penis means you're not a boy, or you're a boy. It only means you're a boy. And the people in the country are like, what? I can't be a girl. I've got a penis. What? Yeah, it's not exactly a European construct, I'm thinking. Writing for the Oregonian, Elizabeth Hoyd says that elementary and middle schoolers in her school district health curriculum haven't been subjected to learning about the gender unicorn by the schools themselves, but some of the teachers are bringing that to the classroom. And if my kid's teacher did that, I'd say, I'm pulling my kid from your class. This person said the Oregon Department of Education allows teachers some leeway, the use of supplemental materials, so long as they line up with teaching standards. Some parents have given up that role, but some of us haven't. I want to be at least as involved in the gender and sexual identity discussion with my kids as a purple unicorn. And that's true. And there better not be any purple unicorn in my kids' class. Or, Hanukkah, the Hanukkah armadillo. I could do that. One other gender story, if you don't mind. Britain's conservative government will promote legislation this fall that would let adults change their legal gender without a medical diagnosis. You wouldn't have to go in and go, okay, turn your head and cough. You would just go in and say to your driver's license bureau, I'm a chick now. I'm a chick. That's what I'm going to. We will build on the significant progress we've made over the past 50 years, tackling some of the historic prejudices that still persist in our laws and giving LGBT people a real say on the issues affecting them. Justin Green, British Minister for Women and Inequalities. This has huge implications for women. There will be legal cases. This according to Stephanie Davis Anal. No, it's Ani of Parents Group Transgender. The most worrying thing is that if any man can identify as a woman with no tests and gain access to places where women might be getting undressed or feeling vulnerable, like women's hospital wards, refugees, and rape crisis centers, women will just stop going there. No, there's actually some common sense in Great Britain. Hello, Stephen Rains. Welcome. Glad to have you here. You liberal, at least just share your video. Let them know you appreciate it. Okay, Stacey, I'll do that. By the way, we will be, you're seeing this live. This is live. This is real. And the URL will be here. It's also it's going to be on several things. It's going to be on the YouTube, hopefully. And right now it is also, again, on Deplorables Radio, Rob Carson Show, and Rob Carson on Facebook. Okay. Did you hear about what happened in San Antonio this weekend? It is, it's sickening. 38 people were found in the back of a tractor trailer. They were immigrants from, I'm assuming, Mexico, possibly Central America, and they were brought here. They were being human trafficked. 10 of them dead or have died. Kids in critical condition. It's a sickening story, and it's sickening that it exists today. When I was working on WBAP in Dallas today, we had a discussion because the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick of the state of Texas says that sanctuary cities entice people to believe they can come to America and Texas and live outside the law. Sanctuary cities also enable human smugglers and cartels. Today, these people paid a terrible price and demonstrate why we need to secure border and legal immigration reform so we can control who enters our country. We continue to pray for the families and the friends of the victims. What is the entity that's not being blamed on any of this? Well, who's not being blamed for this to some degree? I mean, this has been a problem for decades in our country. I believe we need to streamline the legalization process. I believe that people who came here illegally and have brought their children up, I don't think their children should be sent back to a third world country if they grew up in America. That said, I think those who brought their kids here illegally, you're going to forego some of the benefits of being an American. You're not going to be able to vote. You come here illegally, we'll let you stay here. We'll let you pay taxes. We'll let you work. Your kids could stay. We're not going to boot you, but you're not going to be able to vote. Sorry. Some things you're just not going to be able to do. And that stinks. I hate to say that. But the bad thing about it is it's so damned hard. Oh, Greg said the camera feed was a little digitally, but it's better now. Okay. It sometimes happens. Sometimes with Facebook, it uses a hell of a lot of bandwidth. And it gets a little grainy at times. And I'm on 3 Facebook pages right now. So, it happens. But thanks for the heads up. Do appreciate it. Let's check out Rob Carson. Yeah, we got a good bunch of people following right there. Anybody new? Sarah Zimmerman, hello. Rob Mueller, hey, what's up? Thanks for joining me, guys. Do greatly appreciate it. So, with regard to this trafficking story out of Texas, truck drivers being charged with 1 count of transporting immigrants who are in the country illegally, faces life in prison or the death penalty, and he should. Homeland Security said the smugglers closed the door and the interior of the trailer was pitch black, already hot inside. The truck driver said that they were not provided with any water or food. People inside were making noise to get someone's attention, but nobody ever came out. The immigrants were told by smugglers the truck would be refrigerated on the ride up. During the first hour of transportation, everything seemed okay. Later, people started having trouble breathing. Some started to pass out. People began hitting the trailer walls, making noise to get the driver's attention. The driver never stopped. People had a hole in the trailer wall to provide some ventilation and started taking turns breathing into the hole. How horrible that would have been. One of the immigrants told agents he was traveling to San Antonio with 7 family members. He spent 11 days in Laredo in a stash house before being loaded onto the trailer. Another told him that he planned to go to Minnesota with his brother. Police say the truck driver said, "Hey, Barry, what's up, man? Good to see you, Barry Kaplan." Truck driver said he went to open his doors, was surprised when he was run over by Spanish people, knocked to the ground. He then noticed the bodies lying on the floor. I talked to a bunch of truckers today at WBAP in Dallas, and I believe the trucker knew. You cannot just hook up a trailer and drive and not know what's in it. You can't drive by way stations generally. And I think the guy knew, and I think he needs to be punished to the full extent of the law. This reminds me of the trains going to Auschwitz, to be quite honest. I mean, we got people crowded into a space. It's hot, one tiny window to breathe out of. It's just sickening. It's just sickening. Are sanctuary cities the problem? I don't know. It looks like it. I think to some degree it doesn't help. Biggest sanctuary cities in the country, Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, Philadelphia, all seeing an increase in crime with illegals. So I don't know. This year, June 2nd, 48 people detained being transported in Laredo, Texas. Listen, this is all in Texas, I-35 near Laredo, Texas. In the past 7 weeks, 255 people have been rescued. They could have all ended up like this truck. June 19th, 44 people in Laredo. July 4th, 10 people. July 7th, 72. July 8th, 33. July 14th, 10 people. July 23rd, 38 people in San Antonio. And then some people are going to say, well, it's Donald Trump's policy. It's driving them to the, they're desperate. They're hiding in the back of trucks and all that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Nothing wrong with enforcing your own border laws. The new Democrat Party slogan. Have you heard it yet? I'd be a little worried if I was a Democrat. They're struggling with the messaging, now releasing a slogan that sounds a lot like Papa John's Pizza. According to Jeff Stein, a reporter with Vox, the new Democrat slogan will be, are you ready for this? A better deal, better skills, better jobs, and better wages. That's it. Months of polling and internal deliberations came up with that. Again, it's a better deal, better skills, better jobs, better wages. Of all the things you could say, as a Democrat Party right now, I would suggest that and free breadsticks. Free breadsticks, I think, would be really good. I think it would be as good as as free health care, to be quite honest. I really do. Let's see what else we got here. O.J. Simpson's got to get invited to the NFL Hall of Fame. It's the enshrinement ceremony. Going to receive an invite to the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement 2018. When asked by ESPN if Simpson would receive an invite, the Hall of Fame responded, all Hall of Famers are invited to attend the actual the enshrinement. Simpson hasn't attended an enshrinement ceremony since 1985. Despite the highly controversial murder trial in 1994 and most recent 2008 armed robbery conviction, he has the Hall of Fame has kept his bust on site. Rob Votaw says, better try again for the Democrats. Nice. And just real thing, I don't want to make this all political tonight, guys, but the Chuck Schumer over the weekend wrote a column for the New York Times. And he talked about a better deal. That's the Democrats' new slogan, a better deal. That is, and the funny thing is it harkens back to New Deal, okay? The New Deal was the New Deal to get us out of the Depression, and actually probably postponed it. And it was made up of infrastructure projects mostly, putting people back to work on public projects that were paid by taxpayers, okay? And that was largely it. And then the war happened, okay? And so, better deal harkens back to New Deal. You want to know what the better deal is made up of? Massive infrastructure spending, increasing the minimum wage. What's the optimum word in that expression? Minimum. You are right. Yes, minimum. We're going to give you the best least you can make. That's it. That's the Democrat. We are going to give you the best least that you can make. All right. So there you go. That's the new plan. And then, of course, worker training. They're going to train you. And I heard on the Obama administration, $2 million spent in the state of Kentucky. What were they going to do with it? They were going to train coal miners in tech fields to go to work. All right, they're going to retrain $2 million. My phone here. $2 million. Somebody figured this out on their calculators. $2 million. You want to guess how many jobs? Let me turn that down. You want to guess how many jobs that $2 million created? Would you believe 17? So somebody, Rob, real quick, grab your calculator. My phone's over there charging. $2 million divided by 17. I'm thinking, hi, Chetta, what's up? Chetta's joining us tonight. Hi, what's going on? Glad to have you here. $2 million divided by 17. Somebody give me the answer. And you'll figure out how much government money it took to create 17 jobs. And I'm thinking those are some pretty damned expensive jobs. And by the way, remember $688 billion on infrastructure when Barack Obama took office, and the jobs weren't shuttle ready, and that was a punchline. That was a joke. So if I were a Democrat, I'd be concerned. I'm not completely happy with the Republican Party right now, to be quite honest. But if I were a Democrat, I'd be a little concerned. I'd be a little concerned because all the Democrats have right now is getting rid of Donald Trump. Just getting rid of him. That's really what it's all about. Oh, Chetta, thank you. You say my haircut looks good. I got it short. I just did it short. I was just tired of messing with it. It is too hot to have long hair. And it's been, where you been lately? You know what the weather, Dave Campbell, my buddy, my genius buddy, Dave Campbell, vocalist, writer, imaging dude. It's been hot. And then Saturday night in Kansas City, and I don't know if you were in Kansas City, we had about an hour and 20 minutes of rain, and it rained nearly 3 inches. It was nuts. Nuts. Dave, Chicago's had some weird weather too, right? Yeah. Howard, how about Maryland? Maryland's had some weird weather. A lot of, gets a little weird. By the way, back to the DNC thing. The party is $3.3 million in debt. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, I don't want to bring the conversation down, but Charlie Gard's parents have given up the fight. Charlie Gard's parents, his little boy, he's got this incurable disease, and he's been staying at this Great Ormond Street Hospital. And the parents, heartbroken, they'd raised $1 million to have him come and be treated. Nucleoside treatment for his brain. Right now, the kid is blind and deaf and unable to eat, at a very, very, very slim chance of any type of quality of life. Brenna says, just a trace of rain in Platte City. Girl, we had a creek in my backyard. It was unbelievable. I love a good thunderstorm, though. Oh, my God, it was heavy. It was like classic. By the way, if you wouldn't mind, would you guys share that we're on the air right now with others on social media? Just say, hey, Rob Carson's on. He's okay. He's got a better haircut. Rusty Humphries is on. What's up, my brother, my broadcast brother? The great Rusty Humphries. Google that name. Look that up on Facebook. He does the same thing that I do on Facebook, and he's a friend who's been a good friend of mine for a very long time. He hooked me up with the Rush Limbaugh show, and I started writing for Rush because of Rusty Humphries, because he's a great guy. So glad to have you joining me, my brother. But anyway, basically, the mother and father of Charlie Gard have decided to give up the fight. Charlie had a real chance of getting better. It's now, unfortunately, too late for him. This is going through the court system in Great Britain. We are now going to spend our last precious moments with our son, Charlie, who unfortunately won't make his first birthday. Charlie, whose first birthday is on Friday, will have life support switched off within days after his loved ones and family say goodbye. Great Ormond Street has praised the bravery of the decision, but said treatment could not have assisted Charlie, and added it was concerned that New York neurologist Dr. Mikio Hirano had a financial interest in some drugs he wanted Charlie to take. I don't know, guys. I don't think he would have been able to recover. I just don't think he would have been able to recover. It wouldn't have happened. But I think it should have been up to the parents if they wanted to bring the kid to the United States and try something. I have a real problem with turning it over to the hospital, turning it over to the government and government-run medical care. You know what I'm talking about? Sad. It sucks. It just sucks. And there, but by the grace of God, go I. We didn't have to go through that. Many of us didn't have to go through with our kids. Very blessed to have awesome kids. And I've got healthy kids. So I'm very fortunate that way. I have a story real quick I'll tell you about my kids. Over the weekend, we were hanging out, and my daughter out of nowhere asked, what is the American dream? You never know, because she's a really, really funny kid. And so she asked that question, and thank you for sharing the show, Chad. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Bless you. And my son looked at her, and he said, and it was very, truthful and from the heart, he said, it's whatever you want it to be. Yes, whatever you want to be, man. And I was like, all right, dude, very good, very good. Yeah, you're right. It is whatever you can be. And I was being a little flippant because I was like, I don't know what the American dream is, but I know what the nightmare is. It's being out of work for 8 months or 9 months. That's the American nightmare. And, it gets a little rough. It's real rough. And I said, what about it to you, Avery? And she goes, to eat meat all day, every day. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was very cool. Very, very cool. A Wisconsin company about to become the first in the U.S. to offer microchip implants to its employees. Would you ever want to be microchipped by your office? Think about this. You're at work. Your boss says, here's the thing. We're going to make it very easy. If you want to get in the door, you want to get into your office, you want to get computer access, you can go to the company break room and just swat your hand across the snack machine because you have a microchip in it. Are you going to do that? Are you cool with that? Because when you get fired, you're going to have it taken out. when you leave your job, you're going to have it taken out. So just as people are able to purchase items at the market using phones, at this company, 3 Square Market, they're going to use a microchip implanted inside of a person's hands. We'll come up, scan the item. While showing the process, we'll work at an actual break room market kiosk. They're going to use them in a break room so you can get snacks. That's really dangerous. To just be able to wipe a chip and get your, there's obesity issues there. And it's like that heroin rat feeder thing. Remember that? The rat feeder for heroin for rats? That's going to be really bad. We'll get pay with a credit card, and it's asking to swipe my proximity payment. I'll hold up my hand just like my cell phone, and it'll pay for my product. There you go. More than 53 Square Market employees are having the devices implanted starting next week. Each chip about the size of a grain of rice. And again, along with purchasing market kiosk items, employees will be able to use the chip to get in the front door and log on to their computers. I just think this is bad. Each chip costs $300. The company's picking up the tab. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. See, I always thought it'd be kind of cool to, if I was going to get a tattoo, I was going to get my favorite. Yeah, I know. Brenna, I know. I hear that, the mark of the beast. I get it. Scary. I'm not going to do it for Cheetos. I'll tell you that. I mean, there are a lot of things I'll do for Cheetos, but I ain't going to do that. Not going to do that. Yeah. It's crazy. Here's an interesting story. What percentage of Americans do you suppose have tried marijuana? I saw this Gallup poll, and the headline is, Survey reveals how many Americans have tried marijuana, and the results are stunning. Stunning! And then I read the story, and I saw the survey results that show 40% of Americans have tried marijuana, at least at one point in their lives, and I thought it was stunning. I thought it was stunning because the number's so low. That is the highest percentage ever recorded by Gallup, and a remarkable increase from when Gallup first asked respondents about marijuana in 1969. I tried it, but I did not inhale. That was only in the early 90s. Guy couldn't even admit that he's inhaled. Anyway, 1,021 adults, 18 years and older, they were asked about this. 40% admitted they'd used marijuana. Okay. Large chunk of the increase from 1969 to today is likely attributed to the change in how the question was initially asked. Gallup asked, have you yourself ever happened to try marijuana, leaving out the promise to keep the response completely confidential that now appears in its question. All right, so there was that. 1969, guess what the number was? Who tried marijuana? 4%. Now it's 40. Kind of answer. Now, here's the interesting. 51% of people aged 30 to 49, 49% of people aged 50 to 64 admitted to using marijuana. 38% of Americans 18 to 29 said they've tried it. A little lower there. Seniors age 65 and above were the least likely to try it, of course, 23%. Go grandma. Now, here's the thing. The number of people who have tried marijuana and still smoke it regularly is still pretty low. It's 12%. It's 12%. But yeah, I was a little surprised that so few had tried it, to be honest. I mean, here's it. I have. I've smoked marijuana a number of times. It's, I never really got into it. It was okay. It was okay. I smoked it a little bit when I was younger in high school, and then I tried it again when I was dating Kel. And I know people, I know adults who smoke it regularly. I do. Just not into it. Just not into it. Finally, something kind of light tonight I thought you might enjoy. And again, if you would mind sharing this link, my product line, tpublic.com/conservatees, tpublic.com/conservatees. Politically incorrect gear. You just Google that, tpublic.com/user/conservatees. Will you share it with other people? And when you order a shirt that has this on it, you can't coexist when some people want to kill you. There are 40 designs. Veganism is an eating disorder. Let's go. These are really cool, by the way, on shirts. Proud climate change denier. Some, they're not all political. They're not all political. There's some other ones that are apolitical, and they're just some ones that are fun. This is the Russia. Marsha Brady. For those who think that there's been Russian collusion in the Trump campaign with the Ruskies. All of those are available at that site, tpublic.com. Look for conservatives, tpublic.com. Conservatives, I'd greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, I want to thank you for watching tonight. I'm on WBAP in Dallas. That is News Talk 820 all week long from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Hello, Bruce Catola. How are you, my brother? I'm sorry you're joining us so late this evening, but I want to wish you and your lovely wife all the best. I worked with Kim at KS95 in Minneapolis for a few years. A very talented person. And Bruce, you're a hell of a guy. Glad to have you joining. Before I go, I want to mention, if you're in the Kansas City area, Dr. Alex Nelson, Fountain of Life Chiro. My neck sitting at this computer drives me nuts, and without chiropractic adjustment, I would be on my back. All right? Decompression for herniated low back disc, electrical stimulation, all of these things, fountainoflifechiro.com. Fountainoflifechiro.com, 8335 North Congress Avenue, Kansas City, 816-741-4711, 816-741-4711. Chad Potier, what are you doing, my brother? Chad Potier, WYAY Atlantic producer extraordinaire, trying to get back on in Atlanta. Haven't heard anything from YAY in a while. Also, Grass Monsters KC, they sell incredible mowers like the Dixie Chopper. Have one of my, this is a Z2. It's a residential mower, but it's badass. Silver Eagle I have in my garage. It's spectacular, American-made, incredible mowers, and they will last you forever. They also sell Hustlers. These are made in Kansas. They've got the Fast Track and a host of others. They have uncompromised warranties. Do not go to the big box store and buy the one that is chained up out in front of it. There's a Super Z Hyperdrive. Look at that thing. This will last you the rest of your life, all right? 5-year, 500-hour blade-to-blade warranty. 3-year, no-hour limit warranty. These things are just beautiful. So, Grass Monsters KC, 5520 Raytown Road, grassmonsterskc.com. In the meantime, want to thank you guys for joining me on all 3 Facebook pages tonight. It is a pleasure. If you do me a favor and say a prayer for my family and me as we get to the next terrestrial gig and we make this podcast endeavor pay off, if you would keep us in your prayers, it would be greatly appreciated, and I would return the favor as well. In the meantime, I'm going to say have a glorious evening. God bless. I will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and on WBAP in Dallas. Stream it, WBAP Dallas, all right, from 2 to 5. Have a glorious evening. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you